Thank you, DT and ArkDesign. Thank you, Fabienne. So I am an associate at SBJ Group. I've been working there for 12 years now, the majority of my career. SBJ Group has been around for 58 years, practicing in New York and the surrounding area. We specialize in multifamily and hospitality projects, but have designed many other typologies. But with over a half a century of buildings, our work is part of the fabric of the city. So AI projects. AI is everywhere. It's permeated into every field to one degree or another and upturned many long-standing practices. I was first introduced to ArkDesign and its AI platform on a webinar similar to this one just under a year ago, where DT walked us through how to simplify and quickly develop a massing, a unit mix, area tables, just like we've seen so far. I gravitated to this as it encapsulates so many aspects of the zoning analyses that we do so often for clients. More about this later. But here, what we see on the screen, this is a project called the 100. In the fall of last year, our AI project was fortunate to be selected as one of the winners of the National Sarah AI Design Award, the first of its kind. So thank you, Sarah and DT. So the 100, this is a theoretical project for a tower on a standard 100 by 100 New York City corner lot. One can imagine this on one of many intersections. Sarah's AI Design Award category was quite general and open. There weren't any givens, no site, no program, scale. So my first thought was to ground it in a sense of specificity while at the same time keeping it theoretical. The ArkDesign software seems to lend itself to a rectilinear building and a rectilinear grid, which was great for New York and the work that we do. And the first thing you need to choose is the site. So you choose your lot, corner lot, interior lot. And I thought, let's situate this on a corner lot as defined by New York City zoning, 100 feet from an intersecting street, a pure 100 by 100 corner lot. And then from there, the software gives you possible typical layouts and multiple different core locations and circulation layouts, or you can choose your own. Keeping with the familiar, I chose to design a mixed-use multi-family residential building with retail at the street level. The building maintains the street wall at the building's base and then tapers back at the corner from each street, letting in light and air to the streets below, in the spirit of the original 1916 New York City zoning ordinance. After that, I left the restrictions of height and FAR and possibly reality behind and chose to continue with the theme of 100 and designed a 100-story building. And so as you design an ARC, you develop the floor plates, the massing. This is the cellars. This is the ground floor. You make a residential lobby, retail lobby, and it's quite quick. You know, within a short time working with ARC, I designed 10 unique floor plates. And within minutes, these plans were adjusted as decisions were made on the core and setbacks. Just flipping through the plans here, there's a lot of setbacks, a lot of different layouts, but you don't have to work too hard. The software does it for you, which is wonderful. And as you can see, these plans are not actual layouts. They're just placeholders, a way to make a quick assessment and a tool toward a more deliberate design, one eventually done by a human. So I like to think of ARC as painting with broad strokes, not the fine lines of architecture. So it actually helps free up the designer to quickly develop the big picture. And then it develops the area schedules. This is all what you've seen already in these presentations. But here I've cut out floors 4 through 96 to fit onto this page. But there's a lot of data that it automatically creates and automatically updates. Same with the zoning deductions. You select and determine how much of a zoning deduction you want to take, and it automatically calculates that for you. I actually like Excel quite a lot. I'll probably miss it, but this is doing us a favor, saving us a lot of time. So I'll just quickly go through a couple examples of some zoning analyses that we did. This is Astor Senior Housing, a modest 7-story building proposed for senior housing in the Bronx. It's a typology we know very well. It follows what used to be called quality housing zoning, and would likely be built out of block and plank. So this is all stuff we're very used to. And similar to what we saw with Farida's project, the site has an angled street. And my initial response would be to angle the facade, to follow the street line, keep things simple, less corners, less expensive to build. But for better or worse, ArkDesign does not yet have a capability to create a diagonal building line. So we stepped the plan and at a finer scale on the ground floor community facility space. And at a scale of a room at the residential floors. And we actually like this result much better. And this is a great example of how sometimes constraints can lead to better design. The senior building has roughly 50-50 mix between studios and 1-bedroom, slightly more studios. We intentionally lined up the studios at the front facade of the building, keeping a very even rhythm along the main street. And then at the back of the building where the facade is stepped, it actually worked out very nicely because this is a smaller, narrow residential street where you have a series of row houses. And so that the scale is more similar to this sort of broken up mass. Area mixes, it calculates the efficiency for you, which is nice. A lot of developers like to see that. And this is another quick study that we did for a building up in Harlem. Kind of similar partie of a sort of T-shaped plan. But this building, the client came to us. They have an existing community facility building on the site that they needed to replace, but they need to keep it in operation during the whole construction process. So that was the constraints. And so this ended up being a slightly larger building, 10 stories, about over 200,000 square feet. So double the size of the previous one we saw. The existing community facility building, you don't see it here because this is the final result, but it was in this location here, taking up from the street through the green area here. And so what we decided to do was to build the double height gym space in the back behind that building, demolish the existing building, and then build the residential building at in front and on top of the community facility building. And this is a mixed market rate and affordable, so we're able to use the zoning benefits of affordable in the most recent zoning. So this is just flip through some of the floor plates, the cellar, first floor. You can see the amount of community facility space granted there with a nice outdoor space, and same little outdoor space here for the residential, and have residential amenities there. Second floor, this is the double height gym, community facility space overlooking the gym and having terraces out to the outdoor space, and then residential building above. So one of the changes in City of Yes zoning was the 20-foot rear yard for setbacks. 20-foot rear yard setback for portions of buildings that are under 75 feet. So the typical floor is set 20 feet from the rear property line. And the 8th floor here, which would have been a typical floor, we'd have to set that back an additional 10 feet because this is now above 75 feet. And then here we are at the upper floor. This is the setback floor where we set back at the front and have the allowable dormers. And looking at this this morning, as I was running through this presentation, I noticed that our corridors are pretty long, and we probably need to add a stair at the end and switch the scissor stair for 2 single stairs. But these are all adjustments that we can do within a few minutes. It's not a long process. So this is, I think, the beauty of Arc is how it's able to combine modeling, plans, tables of initial massing into one coordinated package. It gives an overall picture of a project in a fraction of the time, allowing us to explore many more options and provide a super quick turnaround. This analysis for this project that I just presented here was done in a few hours earlier this week. Sent back to the client for review, who was amazed at the speed and the thoroughness of this initial step. And hopefully this would generate the excitement and momentum to become a realized project. So in conclusion, I've been hearing this a lot in today's talk, and I feel like everybody's on the same page, which is nice. While sometimes AI manifests itself as this autonomous creator that just develops things by itself. That's not the scenario here. ArkAI is a tool for architects. It's one more tool in the process. It's better at some things, it's incomplete at others, and it should be used together with all other traditional methods and always be viewed and read with a critical eye. So I am very excited to see what comes next for ArkDesign and AI, and how it will shape our industry. So thank you very much, DT, and I'll turn it back to you.